Hello and welcome to the final video in Mrs. Long's series on figurative devices and errors. As always, please remember that at the end of the section you need to be able to give each device's definition, be able to name the definition if you're given the device. Name the device if you're given the definition, recognize the device when used in context, and then explain the effect of the device in the given context. So the last two we're going to be looking at are errors, and they're usually quite funny. They are called Malapropism and Spoonerism. Quite tongue twisters there. So the first one is Malapropism. So you'll see a little girl giving her brother a ball, and she says, "Remember, Jeffy, if the dodgeball hits you, you'll be illuminated." So most of you will be able to recognize that she has used the wrong word there somewhere. And so that's what a malapropism is. It's the use of the wrong, usually a big word, what we call a big word. So in other words, you try to sound smart, but you pronounce the word a little bit differently, and it actually means something else. It was named after a character in a play, Mrs. Malaprop, who made this error quite often. So how do you explain a malapropism? Well, you need to identify the word that is incorrect and then supply the correct word. So in this situation, her use of the word illuminated is incorrect, because illuminated means to light up. What she meant to say was eliminated. In other words, if the dodgeball hits you, you're out of the game, not that you'll be lit up like a Christmas tree. Right, so here is an example of a malapropism that you can take a few moments to see if you can figure out. So pause the video and spend some time going through this example and explaining it. When you are ready to check your answer, unpause the video and we'll see what the suggested answer is. Okay, so here we've got a little dog driving past his friend in a car. And he's wagging his tail, he's leaning out the car, and he says, "Haha, Biff, guess what? After we go to the drugstore and the post office, I'm going to the vet's to get tutored." And of course, poor little bugger doesn't know that he is not going to get tutored, but he's probably going to get neutered. So they sound very similar. Tutored means you're going to get taught something. Neutered means that he's going to get sterilized, so he's no longer able to make little puppies. Okay, so there you'll see another example of how the use of the wrong big word has created a humorous effect. Okay, and the final one, Spoonerisms. Let's have a look at the example here. Runny Babbit leant to Wunsch and heard the satirous way. We have some lovely stabbitroo, our special for today. Now, if that doesn't make any sense to you on first reading, it probably won't. But Spoonerism is when you swap, usually by mistake, when you're speaking too quickly like me, when your brain works faster than your mouth can work, you swap around the initial letters of words. Okay, so if you just look at the first one there, Runny Babbit would be Bunny Rabbit. So what do you do to correct or explain a Spoonerism? You identify the words that have swapped letters, and then you supply the correct words. So here we've got Runny Babbit leant to Wunsch, satirous way, and stabbitroo, which mean Bunny Rabbit went to lunch and heard the waitress say, "We have some lovely rabbit stew." Okay, our special for today. Obviously, this example has been created for humorous effect. Usually, Spoonerisms happen just as you're talking, and sometimes people laugh. They don't even know what you've really done. Now you can say, "Oh, you've done a Spoonerism." Okay, so here is our example. Pause the video, spend some time looking at it. Once you think you've got the right answer, unpause and you can see if you're correct. Okay, so here we've got a picture of a lion who has a splinter in his paw, and it says he is pouring with rain. Now, the rain has been included there because this series of cartoons is especially designed to show Spoonerisms. That's why it's called tips of the slung. In other words, slips of the tongue. So tips of the slung means slips of the tongue, and it's not pouring with rain. He is roaring with pain. Okay. And so that is Spoonerisms. Malapropism, when using the wrong big word. Spoonerism, when you switch around the initial letters of words, and it has usually a comic effect. Right, so this test your skills is to look at the examples used from the last two videos. Euphemism, innuendo, malapropism, spoonerism. You should know the drill by now. You match the example on the right to the device on the left. Pause the video and give yourself a few moments to do that. And then once you think you have the answers, unpause and you can then check your answers as we go through to the last slide. Okay, hopefully you got those correct, or if not, you now understand which answers go, which devices go with which example. This ends the series on the explanation of the figurative devices and errors. Now spend some time doing the examples in your workbook so you can get more familiar with this section of work.